Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
Defend the Constitution because freedom matters.
broadcasting live from the Park Studio. Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show, and as always, I'm your host, Ho-Ho. So how y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. And hello, Brian, over there in YouTube land. He says, hey, dude, do you ever work? I do. And I actually did today. I worked. I promise. I did. I just got back at like 5:30. So it was a short trip today. So yeah, how y'all's doing? We're doing another show. We're doing it. Not my normal show, or at least not my normal time. Normally it's, 11 a.m. on Saturday, but I had the time and the availability. I'm like, you know what? We got some stuff to talk about. We're going to go ahead and do it because this can't wait. It's important. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I did something that I previously said that it would be a while before I did. And I did a little bit quicker than what I figured I would. I did. And a lot of my reasoning behind it amounted to free speech. Because we all know, well, okay, let's rewind a little bit. Y'all know that I am streaming over there on Rumble as well. And a lot of that has to do with because YouTube is not a free speech platform. I have been shut down numerous times, and I figure it's only an amount of time. Before they actually shut the channel down. I think it's definitely going to happen, especially the closer we get to election time. They do not like free speech. They have a narrative that they are wanting to promote, and that's more or less what it amounts to. And if the facts don't support the narrative, and we've seen this time and time again, they're going to shut me down. And if I get too many strikes in the same amount of period, then that's going to happen. And that's why I have backup channels on YouTube. And that is also why I went to the free speech platform. I can speak, really, I can, of Rumble. So there you go. Well, then you have Facebook. Now, granted, I have not had any issues over on Facebook. I really haven't. But I do know Zuckerberg's stance when it comes to limiting, especially the conservative view, the Republican view, on whatever's going on his platform. He said that he wants to limit, speech of that nature. And I have no reason to doubt him. I really don't. We all know what happened during the last elections. We all know what happened regarding COVIDs and everything else. They toted the company line. They carried the water of the liberal agenda, and there's no disputing it. He did. And in order to combat that, that's why I went the direction I did. I am now streaming with the blue check mark over there on X. So you can now find it, the show, over on X as well. I'm streaming there, at least the shows I'm streaming. Yay. So now I'm actually going to 4 different platforms at the same time. That's kind of cool. 1, 2. Yeah. X, Rumble, Facebooks, and the YouTubes. So there you go. And yeah, I said that it would be a while before I did it because I didn't really like the idea of, having to pay money in order to do it. But at the same time, here's the thing. Okay. Elon Musk his business has taken a hit because he had the nerve, the audacity to speak out against left-wing media and the Democrat agenda. And he is making X a free speech platform. And he's lost some business because of it. He's lost some support because of it. He's lost some money because of it, you know? And it's like, I support what he's doing. I really do, you know? And I also heard on a, you know, kind of a side note that Elon, and I've seen this on X, well, a few days ago. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but he was asking if people would support an endeavor that he's thinking about doing. He was asking people's opinion on it, and is basically what he's talking about doing is making his own search engine and email platform, email hosting site, in order to combat, to give a little bit of competition to Google. I'm like, heck yes, I would do that. Of course I would. So, you know, whenever that ends up happening, I might be switching a lot of stuff over to x.com or whatever the URL ends up being. I have no idea, but that's what, you know, so that's kind of what the scuttlebutt is right now. I haven't heard any other word on it. Just he was getting people's opinion on whether they would support that or not. And of course I jumped in and was like, heck yes, I will. So let's go ahead and get into the topics of today's episode. Lying eyes. We very much are living in the George Orwell 1984. We very much are. Okay. And how the Harris-Walz campaign is, you know, talking about things, it very much is, don't believe your lying eyes. Believe the words that are coming out of our mouth. Don't believe what it is you're seeing for yourself, you know, because is what we hear is is Kamala, very much Kamala. She's trying to separate herself from the Harris-Biden, the fiasco that is the administration. She's very much trying to separate herself from that. She's trying to say that, you know, what is today? It's Wednesday. Okay, cool. Trying to say that, you know, she has nothing to do with it. You know, it's not her administration. She, you know, we can't have 4 more years of this, but they're talking about Trump's presidency, not the Biden-Harris presidency. And, you know, she's trying to distance herself, like badly trying to distance herself from the policies that we're suffering under right now. I mean, the economy is in shambles. Inflation is through the freaking roof. You have the strikes at the eastern docks, you know, with the ports. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little later. But with everything going on, with the hurricane, where is Biden? Where's Harris? Are they acting presidential on this? I mean, they just got done sending another $1 billion over to Ukraine, but have they started helping out with hurricane relief? Have they done anything? The answer to that question is no. You know, Biden's on a beach somewhere. You got Harris completely ignoring reporters, won't talk to him because she ain't got nothing to say. And the debate that happened, what was that, yesterday? Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that later as well. But the Biden-Harris, I forgot to turn the air conditioner off. It hasn't turned on yet, so that's a good thing. But anyway, on the break, I'll turn that thing off. But we're being told, don't believe your lying eyes. Everything that's happening right now, all the bad crap that's going on, somehow, even though Trump hasn't been in office since 2020, somehow all of this crap that's going on right now today, with the inflation, with the, you know, the illegal aliens that are just jumping across our border, somehow all of this stuff is Trump's fault. And that's what they keep on saying. Don't believe your lying eyes. with how good the economy was under Trump, with how, with how low inflation was, with the job participation rate under President Trump. I mean, they lied and tried to say that, we were already in a recession before COVID. And that is a huge freaking lie. The best economy in my lifetime under Trump. Don't believe your lying eyes. That's what the left keeps on telling us today. And keeping with the whole free speech thing. Now, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, talking about Hillary Clinton. And, well, okay, I mentioned it. I don't remember if I actually talked about it or not. I think I ran out of time. However, now we have again, I think it was Kerry, not Jim Carrey, the politician dude. He was talking about the very same thing. And my phone decided to go off. Let me go ahead and silence this stinking thing. Right quick. There we go. All right, now that's silenced. Good thing, because I just had another notification. All right, so cool. So we have Hillary Clinton and another politician, and they're both saying the same thing in regards to free speech. They hate what Elon Musk is doing. They hate what Rumble is doing, how it is a free speech platform, because your voices should be heard. Regardless of anything, your voices should be heard. Yes, they put it on in the Constitution, the gold standard for all this crap. It is, freedom of speech, freedom of press, it's freedom of expression. Okay, it's freedom of expression. That's what is protected under the Constitution. You may want to argue about expression, but it's, look, if our government can print money and is perfectly okay for them to do that, whenever that authority was not given to them under the Constitution, because the Constitution says they have, they can coin money. Well, that doesn't say anything about paper money, but they call that, an inherent right, an inherent power, inherent ability. If I had the freedom of press and the freedom of speech and the freedom to peaceably assemble, then that means that I have the freedom to do this, because this is speech. Freedom of expression. But they're wanting to shut that down. Because if your speech does not line up with their narrative, they want to shut you down, to the point to where, as Hillary Clinton said a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that she wants you to be put in prison. Now, I'm going to point out the obvious to you. Are you ready? I'm going to point out the obvious, okay? Does popular speech need to be protected? Asking another obvious question. Does popular speech that everybody wants to hear, speech that nobody disagrees with, does that type of speech need to be protected? The obvious answer is no. Of course it doesn't need to be protected. Why? Because nobody disagrees with it. What kind of speech needs to be protected then? Offensive speech. Speech that people don't want to listen to. Brian Gatton says that coming from a bitch that should be in prison herself. And you are absolutely correct. Because if we're supposed to have, equal justice under the law, which, might I add, throw in here on a side note, that is what made America great. It was equality under the law. And here you have two different sets of rules being applied to two different parties. You have, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden and who knows whom else whenever, in dealings with classified documents. And then you have Trump and other people being treated completely different. And we're being told there's nothing to see here. Again, don't believe your lying eyes. Exactly. But she did. She came out and said during an interview that people whom are accused of misinformation. Now, here's the thing. I've had videos shut down and deleted off of YouTube. Was it misinformation? No, it wasn't. That's what I was accused of, was misinformation. And the funny thing was, the information that I put out there actually in time and after, or at least before the video was deleted and removed and I got a strike on my account, the WHO even came out and acknowledged that these things were true. I won't talk about it right now, but you can still hear those podcasts over on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. You can still check those out, the ones that have been deleted. Free speech is important. We had doctors coming out against the handling of COVID. We had doctors come out against the face diapers. We had doctors come out against the vaccine. And we're talking praising the hydroxychloroquine and other things. No need to reiterate stuff like that because we all know we're not idiots. We all pay attention. Of course we do. We pay attention. She wants to, and the Democrat Party, if they had their way, and make no mistake about it, if they had their way, there would be no free speech. There would be no Rumble. There would be no X. That's what the whole shutting down of TikTok amounted to. That's why they were doing that, because they wanted to get the power to shut down X. They wanted to shut down Rumble, and they want to shut down Truth Social, because the left doesn't control these platforms. And to them, that's what it's all about. See, this is going to be like the first election where they did not have a monopoly on the flow of information. Because the left was in, they're in control of YouTube. At the time, were they in control of X? I believe so. Dorsey, I think, was the guy's name. He was in control of it. Truth Social wasn't even available on everything. Actually, Dorsey still owned Twitter at the time. It wasn't owned by Elon Musk yet. And Truth Social wasn't even around yet. So the left had a monopoly on social media. They had a monopoly on the flow of information because everything, even, social media and mainstream media, was all controlled by them. They were the gatekeepers of information. And now you have Truth Social. Now you have Rumble. Now you have, and there's others, but you also have X. So you have all these other platforms that are bastions of free speech. They don't control the flow of information anymore. There are more people out there getting their news and information from places like this than what they are from legacy media. That's just a fact. They don't hold a monopoly anymore. And they're terrified because of it. And if they get their way, they'll shut it all down. They'll put you in prison if you dare to go against the narrative. They've flat said it. They have said it. Don't ignore what the left says. You should never do that. Don't ignore what they say. Obama said he's going to fundamentally transform the country. He meant it. It started under him, and it has continued under Biden with the bringing in of all these illegal aliens. They're doing this in order to secure a one-party nation. That's what they want. That's why they have distributed these illegal aliens across the nation in the method that they have. The two biggest states that most of the illegal aliens are going to is Texas and Florida, because they want to flip both of them. It's no secret. And there goes my jet engine. Air conditioner kicked on again. So like I said, whenever I go on break, I'll shut that puppy off this way. It's, it's annoying to me. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's annoying to me. But anyway, free speech. And here's the thing, ladies and gents. If we lose here, I even seen a meme on this just a little while ago over on X. If we lose here, we have no place to go. This is the last bastion of freedom on the planet. What are we going to do? Beg Elon Musk to be able to go to Mars? I mean, that's what we got. That's what we're left with. Go to the moon, go to Mars. That's what we're left with. There's no bastions of freedom anywhere. And I'm sure that y'all have heard it said before that, you can vote your way into socialism. You have to fight your way out of it, because there is no voting your way out of it. I mean, hell, think about a union, a workers' union. You vote yourself in. Have they ever voted out of a union? No. I don't think that's ever happened. But that's just me. I don't know. So we have issues during this election. Obviously we do. Last bastion of freedom. If we lose here, it's done. It's over with. And that's exactly what they plan on doing, eliminating your voice. Opposition voice. That's what they're going to eliminate if they're able to get back into office. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I return, we're going to be talking about the debate that happened. Was that last night? I believe it was last night. Yeah, last night. We're going to be talking about that because, it was interesting. It really was. And I'll be honest, I didn't know Vance at all. I didn't know him. And, hat tip to Matt Locke of Voice of the Working Man podcast. He said an idea, somebody that he wanted to see as vice president. And I was like, oh, yeah, I would definitely want to see him as vice president. And that was, Donald Trump Jr. But especially after, and it wasn't the only time, but especially after last night's debate, then yeah, Trump did a good job naming Vance as vice president. And we're going to be talking about that right on the other side of the break. Just a couple minutes and I will be right back. There it is.
You are correct. You are correct.
Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. All right, and we are back. So I got a funny story for you real quick before we go into the debate. A while back ago, not exactly sure when, off of Amazon, and I've seen, videos about this, that other people have done this, and I'm like, that looks to me to be hilarious and absolutely fun. So I went and searched for them on Amazon, found them, bought a lot of them, a roll of 500 of these stickers. And is what they are. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture of it. So if you're, watching over there, and you can see what it is I'm talking about. Yeah. There we go. And search and images. And let me see if here we go. Yep. These. Now these are the ones I got. All right. Let me go ahead and show you because you got to see it. I got these right here. These stickers that say, for rectal use only. Yes, I got a whole roll of 500 of these stinking things, and I went to Family Dollar the other day, and, I took in my roll of these stickers, and, Snickers evidently are now for rectal use only. Twinkies right? Yeah. And I even put them on a box of tampons. Of course I had to put them on a box of tampons, especially with my, tampon brand butt plug. I had to put a sticker on there for that too. It was really fun for me. It really was. So there you go. I had fun with it. So if you're out and about and you live in town, you live where I live, and you go over to your local Family Dollar, you may see some products that has a sticker on there saying that they are for rectal use only. It's a good time. I recommend doing it. I really do. Not doing never mind. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So last night was the vice presidential debate. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch it. No, I didn't. Not at all. Now, I watched the entirety of the presidential debate. Put one on Brandon's vape. That would be an awesome idea. I'm going to have to do that. That would be absolutely hilarious. So, but yes, I watched the entirety of the presidential debate, and it very much was a 3-1 on that debate. It really was. And I got so angry on that, so ticked off. I couldn't do it. I'm like, no, I'm not watching it. I mean, yes, I probably should have. This way I can get a, first person point of view of everything that happened, of the questions, the responses, and just the shenanigans that happened, so that this way I could speak with more authority on the subject, because I knew I'd be talking about it. But I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't force myself to do it. I was just couldn't do it. So I, like 90% of Americans out there, am getting all the information I know about the debate by other means, other shows, from listening to sound bites and everything else. And yeah, that's how I've gotten everything that I've learned about the debate, was from watching snapshots, sound bites, and listening to other people talking about it. Brian puts in there, he goes, after the presidential debate, I could not do it. Yeah, And I'm with you. I couldn't, I wanted to, but I couldn't do it. It ticked me off so bad. And this time, like I had said before I went on on break, Trump made a good choice in picking Vance. Now, this is not the first time that we've seen, Vance go up against a biased media. One time I heard him go up against a biased media. It was laughable. I mean, it really was, because he flat called the person giving the interview. He called her out on her Bravo Sierra. He called her out on her bullshit. He says, look, I came on here for an interview. You're not giving an interview. You're debating with me. Whenever you interviewed Kamala Harris, you gave her you asked her a question and you gave her time to respond to it. But with me, you're debating me. You won't shut the hell up and actually let me respond. Are you going to interview me, or is this a debate? Because I agreed to one, I didn't agree to the other. He called her out on her Bravo Sierra. And it's like, yes. Because that's exactly what should be happening. Exactly. Okay, that was a bit much. That's the one I tried to do. But anyway, that was my attitude to it. He called her out on it. And so, I mean, this wasn't the first time that he's been put in that type of a situation. And just like that time, he handled it correctly, because there was one instance I'm thinking about, and it was in regards to the illegal, the Haitians that have been brought over illegally to, various places, specifically, Springfield, Ohio. They have a pretty large concentration of them. And he called them out because they fact-checked him. And he said, look, you guys said that you wasn't going to be doing this, and yet here we are. You fact-checked me. However, the problem is you're wrong. And he pointed out how they were wrong. Stood up for himself and said, no. I'm not going to take this kind of bullcrap. Y'all ain't teaming up on me like this. This is not what was agreed to. You ain't supposed to be doing it. I'm calling you out on it. As he should have. One of the things that a frame of thought that a lot of Republicans have, a lot of conservatives have, a lot of libertarians, a lot of what we have, is the Republican Party does not fight for us. They don't. What we see out of politicians every 2 and 4 years is a bunch of lip service, and that's all they give us. They tell us that this, that, and the other, they're going to fight for us. They're going to do this. They want lower taxes. They're going to get us on a budget again, since we haven't been on one of those in I don't even know how long. They're going to stop doing the CRs and, just pushing the can on down the road on spending, that they're going to get everything under control. They're going to give us what we want if we would just elect them into office. And it doesn't happen. We elect them in the Senate and they're like, oh, well, we don't have control of the purse strings. Excuse me, hold on. I got to take a drink. So, yeah, they're like, we don't control the purse strings. That's in the Senate. We can't, what are we supposed to do? We're powerless in this. And then we give them control of the Senate or the House of Representatives. They're like, dude, we don't have control of the Senate. We can't do this. And, without that. And so we'll give them both. And then they're like, well, what are we supposed to do? We don't have the presidency. We can't control that. So, I mean, we gotta, we gotta just go along with the Democrats, and then we get all of them. We get the House, we get the Senate, we get the White House, and they're like, oh, well, they still don't do it. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? They promise everything and they deliver on nothing. And that's why I am extremely jealous of the Democrat Party, because at least they fight. They elect these people into office and they go up there, they go to Washington and they fight. For everything that they say they're going to do for their constituents, they fight for it. I wish the Republican Party would take a few cues from the Democrats. I really do. You know, and that's why when it comes to the Republican Party, you just don't have our vote because you fly an R next to your name. No, you have to prove yourself worthy of my vote. You know, that has been my stance for quite some time. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did I? I don't remember if I voted Romney Biden, or I'm sorry, Romney Obama. I think I did. I'm not completely sure. I don't completely remember. And I'm going to fight back against the people that say, if you didn't vote, then you just need to shut the hell up. Because my philosophy on that has been, if you're voting for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. See what I'm saying? If you're voting for the lesser of two evils, then you're still voting for evil. Because when it came to, Romney and Obama, Romney may have been a little bit better, but he still wasn't a Republican, and we knew that. He wasn't a Republican, And during 2016, I didn't vote for anybody. Whenever it was Clinton and Trump, I didn't vote during that election. I voted during the primary, and that was the first time I'd ever voted in a primary. And I voted DeSantis. I did not vote for Trump in the election because he was an unknown. He was a New York Republican, which is no different than an Illinois Democrat. It is what it is. I'm like, I'm not voting for him because he's probably going to be just as bad as the rest of them. I wish I would have paid more attention to the attacks that the Democrat Party was doing on him, but that doesn't really mean anything because the Democrats always attack the Republican during an election. It's standard operating procedure. McCain was the devil whenever he was running. And then it was, now they love him. Brian puts in there, he goes, I voted Trump all the way, baby. In 2020, you're damn right, I voted for Trump. Because at that time, he proved himself that he was going to fight for me. He was going to fight for freedom. He was going to fight for the Constitution. He was going to fight for doing the right things. And in 2016, I didn't know that. There's a lot of these people that are up in Washington right now that, they don't fight. They might as well be Democrats. Look at the continuing resolution that they just got done passing. Although at least they only extended it to January till after the election, which is awesome. Brian puts in here, he goes, my gut told me that he was the right person. And I'm kicking myself because I should have voted for him. I really should have, but it was just, I let history get in the way of what I knew to be the right thing. Let's just put it that way. Because the history of the Republican Party is they just don't fight for you and they're not going to represent you. And I didn't see the point of even bothering. I just didn't. And that wasn't even anything about, living in Illinois where I know that it's going to be the Democrats that, get elected and the electoral college vote was going to go to, Clinton. Yeah, I knew that, but that to me doesn't matter. You should still vote. You should still do your civic duty. You still should, even if, and I've voted for years, I just may or may not vote for the presidential election. And for the most part, I don't vote for people I don't know. I do my best to try to research these people. But anyway, Glenn Beck did the same thing in 2016. He is eating crow now too. Yeah. And I admit to that. I admit to being wrong. Just like J.D. Vance, because he admitted that he didn't vote for Trump, but he admits that he was wrong. Trump was an unknown commodity. He didn't know what he was going to do, and he was surprised. He was impressed. He ate crow. I'm eating crow. I acknowledge that. But this debate, I watched several sound bites and different clips and all kinds of stuff about it. And I tell you what, the undisputed winner, I mean, he should have a title belt made for him by the WWE. And that's JD Vance. He absolutely, hands down, no question, won that debate. I mean, here's the thing. Matt Waltz, whatever the hell his name is. Matt, Tampon Tim. Matt Waltz? No, that's totally the wrong name. Tampon Tim, as other people has dubbed him. Matt Waltz, wow. Sometimes me and names, I'm telling you, we just don't get along. But Tampon Tim, admittedly, he's not good at debates. And, with his background, he's used to answering the questions and answering them truthfully. And that's where the problem is. Because just like Camel Toe Harris, I would almost bet money on the idea that he was coached not to answer a damn thing. I would almost bet money on it, because the problem is the Democrats are the cause of everything that's going on. And the only thing that they can do is run away from the past 3.5, almost 4 years. That's all they can do. That's all the left has. Yeah, you can blame Trump, but it's like, dude, Trump hasn't been in office since 2021. He's not. These aren't his policies that we're living under right now. We're living under the Biden-Harris administration, their policies. And whenever you have Biden going out on the campaign trail, if you will, and is basically saying to the effect of, Harris has been the one that's been right next to me every step of the way. These are her policies too. When he's doing that, which is why they shut him down and said, you just need to go home, go to the beach, shut the hell up, because you're really making it hard for Camel Toe to win. That's why they shut him down. Because he was going out there saying that, what we did is awesome and amazing. And Kamala Harris had everything to do with it. It's really hard for her to try to distance herself from the Biden-Harris administration whenever Biden's out there going, oh yeah, these were her ideas too. She was with me every step of the way, and she inputted and everything else. And, let's not forget, she's the border czar. Still the border czar. This is her administration too. She cannot run away from it. That's why every single time, including the presidential debate, you seeing Camel Toe Harris out there talking, with the two interviews and then the Oprah Winfrey spot, that, every time she's asked a question, all she does is give you platitudes and talking points, but she doesn't actually address the problem. How do you feel about the economy? I was raised in a middle income household. I was raised, so I blah, 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 nothing but word salad, but she doesn't actually talk about it. She doesn't say what she intends on doing. And Tim is the same way. He can't talk about what they intend on doing because nobody knows what he plans on doing. It's all about platitudes and talking points, but there ain't nothing about their campaign, about those debates where Kamala, Tampon Tim, or Camel Toe Harris, there ain't no spot that either one of them can say, look at this, look at my accomplishment, now shut the hell up and get on board. They can't say that. They can't. And from what I'm hearing, The Democrats are freaking out because Trump is doing so good. Now, just like Dan Bongino, hat tip to him. I don't want to hear red wave talk. I don't want us to get comfortable. Fight like you are the third. Fight like hell. Fight like you're the third monkey and it's starting to rain, damn it. That's what we need to do. We need to get out there and we need to vote early too. And that's the thing. We need to vote early because there's already stuff going on. I mean, you know what? Verizon had issues yesterday where, the network shut down. Something can happen. They might run out of ballots again. Their printers might run out of ink again. We can't wait for Election Day because if shenanigans happen, it's going to happen on Election Day. Why? Because the majority of the people who vote on Election Day are Republicans. We're kind of known for it. Go against your grain and vote early. I've actually voted early now twice, 2 or 3 times. Definitely twice. I know I voted last presidential election early. So for the past 6 years, the past 3 elections, I voted early. Because as a truck driver, it was important for me. Well, it was important for me to vote. And I wanted to vote early because I wasn't completely sure if I was going to be in town to actually vote. So I'm like, I'll go ahead and vote early. Vote early. You don't have to worry about shenanigans if you vote early. If something happens, if a water main bursts, then you'll have already voted. You won't have to worry about it. Brian puts in there, goes, she reminds me of the governor from the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Dance a Little Sidestep. That's funny. They have nothing. Okay, they have nothing. They know this. Trump is kicking their ass at this particular point in time. Not, Trump and Vance, they're kicking ass right now. They are. It's, and they can't run away from it. They just can't. They want to, but they can't. So yeah, I didn't watch the debate, but the sound bites, the snapshots, yeah. Vance did a good job. He definitely walked away from that one. It was, he kept his head on him. He debated 3 people, not just Tampon Tim. He debated 3 people. He did a good job, and yeah, it was sad, and okay, I forgot about this. One of the things that ended up happening during the debate, was, it was a fact check that they did against against J.D. Vance. And what was hilarious about it was they even wrote an article about the very topic, and they contradicted their own article that was published, a while back ago. I mean, not that terribly long ago, but yeah, I mean, it was an article that they published saying that this is going on. And then they fact checked J.D. Vance for saying this is what's going on. And they said, no, it's not true. However, their own article said that, yes, this is true. This is going on. I mean, it's kind of funny whenever we're able to use them as a source to say that they're full of shit on fact checking somebody. I mean, yeah, that was laughable. I was like, are you kidding me? Whenever I seen that, I was like, wow. CBS's own articles are saying that, yeah, what Vance said was true. And they tried to deny it and say, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Ridiculous stuff. Really was. All right, we're going to go ahead and take one more quick break. When I return, What was the other thing I was wanting to talk about? Let me scroll down here a little bit. I haven't exactly put up a magazine for this episode. I got some stuff in here. Actually, I really can't talk about this because I got some stuff that I'm still researching on this. I'm sure that y'all have heard about the attack on Jerusalem or on Israel from Iran. Apparently, this is like more bombs than any other time in history. It is ridiculous how many bombs that are getting lobbed over to Israel. And there's a lot going on with that. I'm still looking into it and reading what exactly is going on. That was the other thing I was wanting to talk about, but I haven't done enough research to really talk about it. All I know is we really need to stand with Israel. We do. And of course, with the hurricane, you know, people are needing help there. It's pretty bad in some areas. Holy crap. You know, and the sad thing is you have Vance and Trump that is doing more presidential things, you know, appearances, going there, you know, to the site and talking about it and giving their support. And where is Kamala? Where is Biden? They ain't talking about it. They ain't talking about it. Have they come out in defense of Israel since the Iranian attack? I don't think so. Have they come out in support of the hurricane victims? No, they haven't. Neither Kamala or Tim. Holy crap, my voice is struggling. I'm assuming you're hearing that. So yeah, the optics on this looks really, really bad for the Democrat Party. Because you have the presidential coming out of Trump and Vance, but you're not hearing anything from Biden or Harris. They're MIA. Like Biden's on a beach somewhere and, you know, Harris is doing everything she can to ignore the press, not asking any questions. I mean, it is flat ridiculous. And it's sad because we'll spend billions of dollars on the defense and rebuilding of other countries, but yet they haven't done anything. As of right now, they haven't done nothing for the hurricane victims. Nothing. How sad is that? I mean, it ticks me off to see how, you know, my tax dollars are spent. It really does. You know, they'll do anything and everything they can to pay for illegal aliens, housing vouchers, health care, gender reaffirming care, everything. What are they doing for homeless veterans? Nothing. Kicking them out of shelters for illegal aliens. They'll send money all over the place. 190 some odd countries is who we welfare give money to. Just sent another $1 billion over to Ukraine. What about us? How about our homeless? How about our sick? How about the people in desperate need of help from the hurricane? I mean, I'm not against that money getting spent over there. It would be nice to see our veterans put in a home, given a housing voucher, instead of going to an illegal alien, somebody whom we have absolutely no business helping. We are under no obligation to help these other countries and these illegal aliens, under no obligation to help these people at all. And yet, that's where our tax money is going. I got to be honest, I have issues with that. I really do. I have issues with it. All right, guys, that is all I got for you today. That's it. That's it. Y'all have yourself a good one, and I will see you Saturday Till next time. This has been The Ho Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpickle.com. Until next time.